Thank you so much. And folks, welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange, Bell's Corners edition on this fine St. Patty's Day. Hopefully, all is well and the leprechauns aren't wreaking havoc in your day. And here, you got some people coming in. So I'm going to share a screen quickly and kind of go over about what is going on at Phoenix. So kind of step one, if you are looking from the outside in, you want to come on in. The website is pbex.ca, pbex.ca. Come on in and you should see a share. Oh, look at that, member of the week. It's Redmond. So he provides legal services. So, if you want to get your will set up, family matters, he's a gentleman to talk to because he can get that. You want to sort it out before the actual event transpires. So that's kind of the key rule of thumb. When everything is calm, is a good place to be deciding things as opposed to the last minute in a hurricane of activity. So when I get hold of Redmond, his e-card contact button is right there. You want to hear him speak about stuff? He is right there. You just hit the play button on that. So you want to join us today? Click this button here. It says 8 to 9 Eastern, Bell's Corners. So that's this group. Wednesday morning, we are meeting at 8 to 9 this Wednesday and this Thursday. And I think I should just double check. March 27th is South End in person. So this week, we're all online, 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, and South End on March 27th. April 2nd, 7 p.m. Now that's where we have an after hours group, and that purpose behind that is it's free for all our Phoenix members. Come on in. It's kind of like providing an accountability session, so it keeps you on track. And it's not to dominate you; it's to help you grow and just have a person run alongside with you to help you, encourage you to keep up with your goals. East Trade Winds, and that's tomorrow morning, 8 to 9. You're welcome to come in, no cost. We go across Canada and meet folks and over Europe and the US. If you've had a really stark week, then we have Tony. He's got a free meditation class at 1:30, so you can just kind of have a chill moment and take a lot of the heavy load and just kind of relax. Part of the other healthy state of being is also keeping active. So we have Penny Lee. She's got her Movement is Medicine with Nia classes, and she runs numerous ones throughout the week, both in person and online. And that keeps your body moving around and keep it flowing. You hear someone that's talking today, and you go, "Hey, I want to know more about that person." Click on the QR directory for all members and just follow up with the individual. The cool thing is you see the QR code over my shoulder or the QR code here. What that represents is a quick and easy way to use your phone, scan, and then have all the contact details of an individual. Their phone number, email address, whatever the background. Sometimes they're little video tidbits. Year-to-date information. 1,300 people have used that QR code since January 1 to connect with members in this group. So that speaks to the power of the connection. And again, it makes it easier for someone to get a hold of you and connect. Over $4.8 million worth of business just between the members since 2016 has happened. Year to date, between members, $55,095. So getting up there, we're going to get to 56,000 probably by the end of the month, hands down, if not more, right? If you have any questions, just reach out to us, reach out to Tony. I'm going to hit the stop share button. We're going to have an educational minute from Carol Lee from the Canada Food Cupboard. And Carol Lee, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I have on my lucky shirt this morning, so hopefully that's a good omen of what the week lies ahead. Last week, I did go into a little bit of detail about what we do here at the Canada Food Cupboard, and it's kind of fitting that I speak for a few minutes now this morning just to tell you we had another record-breaking week. I know record-breaking weeks sound wonderful, maybe in all of your lines of work, talking about seeing more clients and having more customers. But in my line of work, it's not always a great thing to have to share. Last week, we served 128 families here at the Canada Food Cupboard. So just to put it into context, most weeks we serve around 100 families to 110 families. So 18 more families is 18 more, households that we had to provide service to. Everybody's talking about tariffs, but the last week, a lot of the news outlets talked a lot about how tariffs are going to impact us the nonprofit world. I mean, there's so much uncertainty that looms, how they're going to impact not only our spending, but how they're going to impact the number of families that are going to need assistance. It is creating anxiety, countrywide, and especially here in the nonprofit world. So I guess my education this morning is more of a PSA announcement to just please always keep nonprofits and food banks, whether it's the Canada Food Cupboard or your local food bank, in mind, especially this time of the year. It's going into the season where donations tend to drop in early spring. So just keep us in mind, whether you're at the grocery store and there's the option to donate $2 to your food bank, or there's the option to buy one of those pre-made bags at the grocery store, or even if you're shopping yourselves and you buy an extra pack of pasta or a box of cereal, put it in the donation bin. Not just the Canada Food Cupboard, but all food banks appreciate the extra support, especially with so much uncertainty that's happening in our world. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Carly, thank you so much. I've just posted in the chat our LinkedIn live feed. You can put your contact details therein and share contact information or tidbits of advice. Great place to get you a promotion and also reach out to the people at large. And we're going to start off. We're going to do a round robin of who's got what on the go, and I'll try to pick the person that doesn't look the busiest right at the moment, and that would be Redmond, and then we will swing over to Kara Lee. So Redmond, go ahead, sir. Do an intro and BAMs and referrals. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Bernie. Yes, hi everyone. Reverend O'Brien with Odette Rugan Lawyers Professional Corporation. So our law firm works in family law, wills and estates, real estate law, personal injury, immigration law as well. And in terms of another type of clientele who we try to help and who we're able to help, just to say, in addition to anybody who comes along, is people who have been they received court documents, or maybe a mediation is upcoming and it's pretty last minute. They need responding documents as soon as possible. So we're here to help with our experience with that kind of situation, with our teamwork. So with our law clerk being critical with serving and filing and completing different documents as well, and just with working hard in under the short notice situations. So anybody who might come across who's like really needs to respond to a legal situation and in family law, personal injury, and all, our firm's able to help. In terms of BAMs, still going to be reaching out a little bit more. We don't have any set up at the moment, but we'll be very soon. And referrals, still working on just figuring that out within the firm here. Will be still on top of mind in the firm. So we're on Lawyers Professional Corporation. Protecting your rights is our priority.
Redmond, thank you so much. And just as a quick reminder, if you know someone that is either a pet hospital or provides help for veterinary services or veterinarian, have them reach out to Penny. That is a service that we are capitalizing on, or a service that we require for our members. We will go to Kara Lee, and then we will go to Eric, who's working his watch. Kara Lee, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So we have our next client event taking place on March 31st. We call it our pop-up thrift event. So we're accepting donations of gently used clothes. So if anyone has anything that they'd like to donate, we're welcome to receive that here at the Canada Food Cupboard. We're located at 1240 Tarrant Road, Unit 3. We're open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. And we greatly would appreciate donations. Thank you.
Shirley, thank you so much. Any BAMs or referrals, any business activity meetings?
Not at this time, but I'm meeting with you folks shortly, Bernie and Tony, to talk about the upcoming golf tournament in September.
Perfect, thank you. Another quick reminder, if you need someone to stand in for your talk, reach out to Mike Wazowski. If the timing works well, he will come in and he'd be more than glad to speak on your behalf. We're going next to Eric. Kat, just before Eric starts, are you able to talk today, or are you feeling better? No? Okay, sorry. Eric, over to you, and then Tony will speak on your behalf. Kat.
Thank you, Bernie. Eric Sonego of the accounting firm Eric Sonego Professional Group. We're located in Canada. We are accountants and management consultants. We specialize in medium to small to medium-sized companies that need to improve their aspects of accounting. We also do taxes, but the office does taxes. I just do taxes of people who bother me, who insist that that I have to do it. And those are probably people that I've known for 20, 25 years who do not want anybody else to touch their file. Friday, I went for a beer with a client who was also a soccer teammate, and I told him that we were merging with a national firm, and he said that to me very seriously. He stopped eating and he stopped drinking. He said to me, I don't want anybody else to look at my stuff. I don't want anyone else to look at my stuff. And I said, no, nothing is going to change. Same address, different name. That's all. And people tend to worry about that, but they shouldn't worry. I want to talk about for 90 seconds about the thing that's coming down the pipeline that none of you realize is coming. None of you. None of the people I deal with, least of all my wife. And that is called short-term rentals. So if you have ever rented an Airbnb or a Verbo or anything like that, or someone who has a unit that you've used on holidays, you might be saying goodbye to that, or you might be saying the price of that going up. And that's because the government has initiated a rule that I don't think it's law yet, but it will be law, because nobody likes those people anyways, from a taxation point of view. The rule would be that if you have a short-term rental, like that, if you have a condominium and you turn it into a B&B, you won't be able to deduct any of your expenses other than mortgage, maybe. So if you have someone coming having a party, that the cleaning you cannot deduct. If you have an electrician to put an outlet, that you cannot deduct. So it's actually what the hotel industry was doing to curtail us from using those places. And they've been working with people in the government, or they've been pressuring governments and spending money in governments to make sure that they break those rules. And they went to the federal government first because taxation will make sure that the provinces follow. And that's something that is going to be detrimental on how most of us travel and most of us visit places. I'm working on year ends for Tony. I'm looking for other well, no, I should say that at this time of the year I don't do BAMs because I can't even get out of my office. So I don't do BAMs this year, and big and I invite people, if they want to do BAMs with me, they have to come and see me because I don't get out of this place. 613-254-7310. And don't look so worried about the short-term rentals. You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. Right?
Eric, thank you so much. And just as a quick nudge, this is a short-term event. It's the Phoenix Business Exchange golf tournament, September 4th. Put it in your calendar, and in support of the Canada Food Cupboard, which you already heard about earlier. But just as a nudge, just to put a hold in the afternoon on the 4th. Tony, you're going to speak on behalf of Kat, and then we will go to Josh.
Okay, very good. Yeah, well, I've been working with Kat for quite some time as a part of not only does she does the social media thing, but her value also is in the network marketing and the marketing part of it. So when we're kicking around ideas on how to bring this to light, she is a great wealth of information where she could position it so that everything is consistent. It's not just coming up with an idea. You got to realize anything in marketing has to be consistent. It's got to be the same in your logo as whatever you're trying to say. If you're doing a talk somewhere else, it's got to be very consistent to other things that are in your business. So there's a plan. Everything has sort of a level of consistency. It's not just coming up with one thing. Like in St. Patty's Day, in some cases, everything's got to be green. Everything's got to have that green. So it's sort of it's a whole package. So it's not as easy to do that because anyone can come up with a good idea, but making it so the clients and the prospective clients can look at it and see that there's a consistency in that business, and that takes a lot more work. Most times it is just taken for granted until they really look at it and it says, "Oh yeah, that's the same as what he's doing on Friday in the meditation class is the same thing that's happening in something else that we're launching." You know, it has that whole business aspect of it. So I highly recommend Kat for coming to that to look at the business end of it and the marketing packaging. All right. So with Kat, I forget what your tagline is, but go purple.
Purple. Good one, Tony. All right. We're going to swing over to Josh if he's available. And just prior to that, East Trade Winds, that is the Zoom chat or the Zoom link to register by. And come on in if you so desire. Josh, if you're available. If not, we can circle back and we will go to, you know what? Oh, Josh, there you are. Oh, okay, so go ahead, Josh.
I'm here. Hi, I'm Josh Lamb. My company is Sterling Grace Technologies, and we're your one-stop shop for all your IT needs. We service a number of businesses in Eastern Ontario, and we have some international customers. So and actually we have some customers out in British Columbia too. So if you're interested in getting somebody who's invested in your business and interested in helping you get your mind out of the IT weeds so that you can focus on what you do well, we are here to help. So half of what we do is IT support and managed services, and that's anything from basic workstation support. Give us a call and say, I've got a problem with my email, I've got a problem with Excel, I've got a problem with my computer won't turn on or it won't turn off or whatever. And we are the ones that you can call, all the way up to I have workstations that need monitoring, a server that needs monitoring and remote support, and I need a disaster recovery plan because I don't want my office to burn down and me to go out of business. And so we can help you with all of that as well. We are a Microsoft 365 Office reseller, and we support that. And we also we have a number of backup solutions that we work with. There's a solution called Cove that is a cloud-based solution where it backs up your information to the cloud every night. We also have a hybrid solution especially for offices with slow internet connections where cloud might not be the best suited option for them, where essentially one of our servers lives on your site and it syncs up to the cloud slowly, but it also has an on-site backup, which means that if you ever need to do a restore, instead of having to download terabytes of information from the cloud, which can be a timely and costly procedure, you can get it directly from your local server, and then everything goes over your local network instead, and it's much, much quicker. The other half of what we do is web-based stuff, websites, e-commerce, and then integration with web-based applications. So getting your QuickBooks to talk to your WooCommerce, which is part of your WordPress website where you can sell things online. automation and reporting, so you can get emails notifying you of statistics in your sales and that kind of thing. And so if you need help making your tech stop being a headache and turn into something that makes you money, we are the people to call. I'm Josh Lamb. Sterling Grace Technologies is my company. Have a great day. Thanks.
Thanks, Josh. Another kind of important thing is if you are having an event, either you're hosting one, you're working with someone with one that that's involved with you, or one that will affect any business. Maybe there's a trade show coming into town, whatever the case might be. Have it fired up into the Phoenix calendar and just follow the prompt on that little chat that I just posted out there, and we'll get things wound up. I'm going to bounce from here to Norm and then to Shane. So Norm, over to you, sir.
Norm Boyer's Home Maintenance Repair. This time of year, people start opening their windows and find that they need to be fixed. Right? I don't do window repairs in the winter because people just don't open their windows. But if they have window problems, they got to call me right away because the majority of the hardware that needs to be replaced is Truth Hardware, and Truth Hardware comes from the States. So not only will I have a price increase, I may not be able to get hardware after a certain point. So anybody that has issues with their windows, they should give me a call so that I can source the damaged hardware. And then the high performance glass, now's the time of year where if you've had doors or windows that were too hot or rooms that were too cold, put our high performance glass in and it'll solve that problem. And if you notice over the winter, a lot of condensation on the inside where you had to wipe down the windows with a towel because all the moisture on the window, well, if they would have had 366 glass, that would not have happened. Right? So this is the time of year to start booking us. I know if there's some major stuff, I know some bigger contractors, they're booked 3 to 5 months out. So if they have any, like I have one that has problem where the wall's going to have to be opened up, the windows need to come up. It's beyond our pay grade, but the problem will be finding somebody to do that. So if it's something that we can't do, we generally know somebody who can. So Boyer's Home Maintenance Repair, we do. If you have a honeydew list, we get it done, and we fix your home. You don't know how to do it, don't want to do it, don't have the time to do it, we'll do it.
Thank you, Norm. So if you're cruising around Ottawa and you need a place to have a quick bite to eat, perhaps you need someone to cater an event, there's At Hive and At Bistro. At Hive is the location, At Bistro is within At Hive, and it's a collab working space. And if we're going to do a BAM in person, that might be a good place to have it if you're doing one with myself. I'm going to swing over to Mr. Shane Bayless, followed by Dwight. Shane, go ahead, sir.
Hey guys, how are you? Team Miller Pro Action Health and Performance. Just dropping off my son Max in his Sonic costume. He's fast, just like we are for quick recoveries. Anyways, I want to just shout out to the Canada Food Bank, or not the food bank, food cupboard. Okay, everybody knows all the banks get a lot of the food, so really look out for these people that are the food cupboard because they don't get the same advertising and awareness that everybody else does. We helped sponsor them about 10 years ago at our office. We did some canned food drive. So remember them, and not just the food banks that are out there, because everybody needs the food. Everyone serves a different community, those types of things. All right. I also have worked with Josh Lamb and his company, helped me out with some of the Facebook stuff. So that was great. And for going forward, we talk about like some neck issues where I'm seeing people like, what's the big problem about St. Patty? Anyone know? Oh, no one said anything. I'll tell you. Okay. St. Patty has a large head and a small little body, right? What happens with large heads? What happens when we put helmets on athletes? What happens to all those people? They end up getting a lot more head movement because when they get hit, the forces go into the head and they can't control it because it's too heavy. So what do we need to do? We need to work up our necks like Arnold Schwarzenegger to get those big, thick muscles in the side. So when we do get hit, we can resist those forces. There's less doing that. I just had a guy in a car accident. He's training for a triathlon. He's doing awesome with the strength and everything else. He gets sideswiped, thrown into in a snowbank. What's his biggest problem? Shoulder issue, brachial plexus down his arm, not his neck, not a concussion, right? And he got hit at a high speed. Why? Because he's so strong. All the people I see that are really strong, work out, keep their body in good shape, they have way better when they get hit in trauma, falling on the ice, just falling down the stairs. They all do better. Why? Because they have stability from the muscles, which means the ligaments and the discs don't have to do as much work. Okay? Everyone's like, well, what can I do at home? Okay? We do isometrics, right? So I bring my hand across, I push against my hand, I do it in 1, 2, 3, 4 directions. Usually for the back one, I'm putting both hands behind my head because it's supposed to be a head tension, not applying tension because of your arms are being up and it's putting more tension on your neck. Okay, guys? We hold it there for 20 seconds and we do 2 rounds of each of those. Those are 4 ways, okay? So you don't have to do 100% of your maximum contraction. Just putting 50%, doing it twice a day, you're going to help build up the strength in your neck and you'll probably be safer and preventative injuries and concussions later on in life. Hopefully that is a helpful tip for all of you and you guys can take that home and be better than the leprechaun. All right? There we go. Okay, guys. Think green. Here's my little green for today. I did forget my green hat, but it's St. Patty's Day. Enjoy. Maybe have a little relaxation time with your favorite green drink. All right, guys. Take care. That's even green tea for those people out there. All right. Have a good one. Proaction Health and Performance. I'm Shane Bayless. We get results, so come see us.
Shane, thank you so much. Another quick reminder, if you're using LinkedIn, and you should be if you're in business, invite 5 people to follow us on Phoenix Business Exchange, the incorporated version that's out there. It's public. Invite 5 people because a couple things happen here. One, it enhances the community, makes the sharing of information stronger and better. And Dwight, if you're available, sir, over to you.
Thanks, Bernie, and good morning, everyone. Dwight Nicole from Taste Sweet Life Catering. We're the Caribbean vegan specialists. We cater or we just prepare beautiful vegan foods, specialties, Jamaican patties, which we were in the kitchen this past weekend creating about 150 of them for the market coming up this coming Saturday. We'll be at Lansdowne Pavilion from 10 to 4. And I know last time we were there, we sold out all our patties and all our foods that we had brought. So we'll be going back in later on this week to prepare our meals for the Saturday. And if you all want to have some patties, just give us a call or just email us and we can get some out to you. So again, it's Dwight and Nicole from Taste Sweet Life Catering, specialize in Caribbean vegan foods. And we had I had no BAMs this past week, and hopefully this week I guess we can get some in place. That's it.
Dwight, thank you so much. If you know someone that is into the martial arts as an instructor, we're also looking for that type of person to help add to the group because there are people asking for that service. And Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Happy St. Patty's Day. I have my green shirt on for good luck. Hopefully it'll bring me good luck. Actually, I had a customer call me already this morning, so that did bring me good luck. So, anyway, samstores.connectedcars.ca, do dash cameras, things like that, but also do minor repairs in cars, oil changes, brake jobs, wheel bearings, muffler sometimes, as long as I don't have to weld, and other doodads. And one thing I'm going to talk about today is oil changes. The most important thing for the longevity of the engine of your vehicle, oil changes. And most of us wait for that little reminder now, rather than looking up how long it's gone. Look, that little reminder comes up, maintenance light or a little wrench that comes on. But maybe you don't know that you should, if you don't go very far in your vehicle, especially during COVID times, or maybe you're at home a lot, is 1 year. In fact, if you take a look in your owner's manual, it says you should change your oil at least once a year. So if you don't travel too much in a vehicle, or you maybe have a vehicle that you store somewhere, keep that in mind, because I had a customer wait almost 2 years to change their oil in their vehicle, and the oil that came out was like molasses. It was very thick and it wasn't doing much for the engine. So keep that in mind, that the oil change needs to be done at least once a year in your vehicle, whether you drive, drive very little or maybe store that vehicle over the winter. Let's see here, BAMS wise. Yes, one thing that happened was Jacqueline, our mortgage broker, she sent me some information. If you have someone or someone who has a mortgage, interest rates have fallen and they might need to renegotiate that mortgage because with interest rates falling in a short time, you might need to pay a penalty and save on the interest that you're going to be paying in the long run. Keep that in mind, and if you need to, Jacqueline will be speaking this Wednesday at the Wednesday meeting. That's it for me, Sam Sturz, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of a vehicle, and lots more.
Sam, thank you so much. So another item that we're looking for, and it makes perfectly good sense. Either you're going to be packing it up or opening up a small engine repair. It's someone to service those lawnmowers about to come out, break out into the wild and start chopping the lawn. Or you're gonna put your snowblower to bed, so to speak, because hey, it's looking good right now. As long as March doesn't go out like a lion, we should be straight up. So that's kind of a thing to kind of bring towards Penny Lee's attention. If you know someone that does that type of work. Tony, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Just to mention, over the last week to 2 weeks, I've been working with Penny Lee. We had a BAM there when she came back, and she's still working on some of the things there. So we had a BAM, and going to be working with her a little bit on that wound that she's caring for. Looking forward to the meeting. That would be today with Cara Lee and Bernie, where we're going to talk about the golf thing and how we can help the Canada Food Cupboard in that way. And Dwight, I was going to ask you about your event, but you mentioned it in your infomercial, Lansdowne Park this week. So I wanted to order some patties for my daughter-in-law there. And Sandy Bonneau had a BAM with her. She's our dog massage person, or sort of a pet whisperer. She's amazing. I can't believe she's only charging $60 for an hour, sort of thing. But she if there's anything going on with your pet, she can detect it ahead of time. So that's great. We are still looking for a general contractor, by the way. I got another sort of a semi-request from one of my clients looking for some work. It seemed like it was around $5,000-$6,000 or something like that in terms of the work, but it's a bigger thing that we wanted to make sure that. So if you know somebody who's a good contractor, have them come in, because we're quite I guess going into summer, we're going to have a lot of people asking for that. So who am I? I'm Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I look at those things and from an energy perspective. And one of the things, of course, in St. Paddy's Day is Green Adventurine. This is a crystal bracelet that actually brings in luck, really, in that way. It brings in creativity, serenity, patience. It brings prosperity in it. It's part of the heart chakra group, where it surrounds your heart with this very subtle energy. It actually attracts romance as well. This particular stone is great for self-doubt, and it's great for diffusing negative energy. If you're going to a network meeting or something like that, there's some negative people in there. This might also apply to family reunions. Never know. But it does really absorb a lot of the negativity around people. Reinforces leadership, compassion, encouraging perseverance. And it also, while you're wearing it, if you have it long enough, you can actually even detect if someone is lying to you. So it's a great stone that way. Another thing that we have is orgonite pyramids. And this one is placed in the middle of the home, and what it does is it diffuses energy. It has a coil at the very top. It's orgonite. If you want to look it up on Google, there's a whole bunch of things on it. But it actually changes the energy from the home. So having it in the middle of the house has this toroidal effect, and it brings in more prosperity. So it brings in luck in that way. All right, so Tony Jennis from Higher Self. We are here to raise your spirits in any way we can.
Tony, thank you so much. Another ask is a sports retail store owner. As you change seasons, you probably change the sports that you're going to be playing. So bring them on in and connect them to Penny Lee. And in fact, if you have gently used kit, you know what? Canada Food Cupboard handles also taking care of used, sportswear because they'll deal with kids that are in that space. And yeah, it's just another option. So don't toss it into the trash. And there's folks that can make good use of it. So me, what do? I talk to people. I've got a podcast, Knack for Business podcast. I connect people, I connect businesses, and part and parcel of it is tapping into resources. Which is going to feed me into another conversation, capitalizing on Josh's services. If you heard the word DNS, and the URL, you buy a link on from a company, and all of a sudden life just goes sideways, and you're like, why is my email not working? What the heck's going on here? Or you touch something. Well, the fickle finger of fate sometimes can be the provider. And you know what? Josh helped resolve a problem. The best laid plans of mice and men, and only to find out the mice are busy kind of screwing up the system in the back end. So Josh helped recover a Clean Shield site, Clean Shield Solution site, back up and running, both email and a website. So thank you, Josh, and that was on a busy weekend when that all happened. So much appreciated. But that's a good example of a resource, right? So needless to say, not only am I using them, and anybody you're capitalizing on inside the Phoenix group, you're going, hey, this worked out really well. What better way to promote and foster that type of business relationship with any of us, right? So, if you're running into CRA and you happen to have one of those short-term rentals, that Eric's going to tell you, you got to make some decisions where to charge more, right? Here's the roadmap, right? Or it's a window with Norm. You got to fix something, or the part's made in the States. That's going to be interesting, right? Considering the tariffs. Anyhow, I do this cross connects with people, and I actually talk to them about the Knack within the Knack for Business podcast space, and talk about their origin story and the things that he do. I'm going to stop yammering because you know what? Madam Lana is next.
Ooh. Lana.
Oh.
What?
No.
What?
Okay. We got it. Well, good morning, everyone. Lana Burnley, the residential real estate person, I guess, of the group. But I'd like to think that I am a little bit more than that, because it's a holistic view to buying and selling your home, because there's always a transition going on when you're doing something like that, a transition in your life, a transition in your family, or something has happened to a family member. But when you're dealing with all of that, or a transition with laws and things like that. For an example, there was a Airbnb, a short-term rental across the way from me, which is illegal in Ottawa, by the way, folks, unless it's your primary residence. You cannot be buying a property and renting it out as a short-term rental in Greater Ottawa. A lot of people didn't know that, but I've noticed now the Airbnb that was across the street from me is now up for long-term rental. However, what I wanted to talk today about is, I'm going to share my screen. I hope this is working. And bring up, you guys don't need to see that. You don't need to see that. A presentation about home inspections. Why would you now? Can you guys see that?
Perfect. You're up and running.
I'm up and running.
We see it. Yeah, we see it.
Too. Okay, so this is me. I don't need to talk about me, but I think it's a client of mine that I've had for 24 years sent me my original marketing, and I thought it was cute. I'd add it to my own marketing there that was from actually year 2000. Different, new hair, different name, different company. However, first of all, before I go to talk about home inspections and why you might want to consider one, even if you're not selling your house. I've got to do a disclaimer, guys, because this information is to the best of my knowledge. I've had many specialized courses, I've had many awards, and I've had lots of experience. But I am not a lawyer. I am not a mortgage broker. I am not a financial expert. I am not a tax expert. I know a little about a lot. I'm also not a construction or contractor. I'm not a plumber. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a roofer. I'm not an HVAC expert. Why am I saying this? Because people seem to think that I know or I need to know everything about a house, and I don't. I'm not a cleaner, I'm not a decorator, I'm not a painter, I'm not a babysitter or a dog walker. Because people, if there's a showing, sometimes they want you to look after their kids or walk their dogs. People ask for this from their realtor all the time.
Ask the realtor for to walk the dog? Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, can you take my dog out? Can you take my dog out? I can't get home. Can you take my dog out? Oh, yeah. It's absolutely incredible. I've also am not a marriage counselor, a couples counselor, or a family therapist because there's so much stress going on because there's a transition in your family when you are buying or selling a home that I've seen families break up. I've seen couples not get married when they were trying to find their marriage home or their matrimonial home. And I've seen kids get involved and parents allowing their kids to have a say in a big purchase like that, even though the kids don't have a lot of money involved in this. I'm not a home inspector. I'm not a building inspector. I'm not a foundation inspector. What's the difference between a home and a building inspector? A home inspector does just residential homes. A building inspector will do commercial buildings also because the HVAC is very different in a commercial building as compared to a home inspector, right? It's a furnace in a home, whereas a building might have a whole bunch of stuff up top. I don't do commercial. I don't even touch commercial. But I am dangerous because I know a little about a lot. And that's what makes me dangerous. So moving on. So that's my disclaimer. A frequent question. So we've talked about some of the frequent questions I get. And I get asked, is a home inspection necessary? And again, my best answer is yes, but okay, a home inspection will cost you anywhere from $600 to $900. And if this is your first home, that's a lot of money to be laying out because you are usually on a very tight budget. So some considerations is it's debatable because you're going to get, if you have 3 different home inspectors, you're going to get 3 different reports, right? Just like lawyers. You ask 3 different lawyers, you're going to get 3 different opinions on one particular phrase or clause in a contract. And yes, I know a little bit about contract law, a little bit. With a home inspection, are you willing to fix major items that come up? Is it going to be a deal breaker? Are you going to buy the house? Whether or not, the windows need replacing. Normally, I can tell when I'm looking at a window or looking at a foundation if there's something serious about it. I can usually get a good feeling. I've been in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of home inspections, and I've walked with the home inspector through every single one of them. I don't sit at the kitchen table and do work. I actually walk around with the inspector because I learn something at every inspection. It's so much fun. And I learn a lot about houses. But again, that makes me dangerous, right? It does help to market your house. Now, if you're selling your house, having a home inspection will identify anything that might need to be fixed up front. For an example, the window cranks, because you haven't used them in 6 months, right? And it might also identify maybe something that happens on the roof, or maybe it's going to identify that you actually have water leaking through your heat exchanger in your furnace, which you didn't know because you've never taken the front panel off your furnace. Who has taken the front panel off their furnace? I have, because I look inside to see what's happening. Yes, Sam, do it. That's awesome. So, who replaces? I've had people who didn't even know they had a furnace filter in their natural gas forced air furnace. Like, come on. Yes, it's true. That's because they didn't have a home inspection. Often a home inspection will give you an introduction to the home. And that's what I tell my buyers. When you are looking at a home inspection is a good idea if you're a first-time home buyer and you have never ever dealt with anything inside the home, because that was mommy and daddy's job and they never taught you anything. And I find out from them just how experienced are they with contracting, with looking after appliances, with looking after things in a house. And if they haven't done anything, then yes, it's worth the $900. I will point out things when we're looking at a house, but a home inspector will also, I'm not going to take off the front panel of a furnace when I'm just looking at a house. I might look at the furnace filter because that gives me an indication of how well they're maintaining the house or maintaining the furnace and the ductwork and things like that. But I'm not going to take off the front panel. I'll leave that to the home inspector. I will take off the front panel of my own furnace. It also builds trust with your buyers because your buyers will understand what goes on. Now, what happens? What can we see and what can't we see? Again, this is why you might have one. It all depends on your lifestyle too. If you fix things for a living, then yes, you probably don't need a home inspection because you're going to be fixing things all the time. Now, I could be slitting my throat here because, so will you tell me not to get a home inspection and then you take me to court because I said that? Wrong. No. I will never say yes or no. I will say, if you think it's worth it, can you fix things yourself? Can you identify things yourself? It all depends on your life and your experience. So what I am looking at when I show houses or when I'm looking at houses, I cannot see the top of the roof, right? I can see inside the ceiling, but that's why you get a home inspector. Like, this is a 4-story house here. This is one single home on the right-hand side. And this is one of my favorite home inspectors. And he's got this pole and his camera, and he is looking at the roof of this one particular townhouse. It's an end unit, so it's a little bit bigger. And he's looking at it and identifying if there's any issues, including if the eaves troughs are full of crap and leaves, because I can guarantee you the owner of this particular house on the right-hand side did not go up and did not empty out those eaves troughs. And this is not a condominium. This was a private road. The reason why they're called private roads in Ottawa is because the city does not maintain it. You have to maintain it. And there's no condominium corporation who maintains the exterior. So remember that when you're looking at houses, there are reasons behind all the street names and the suffixes for them, like avenues, roads, drives, privates, things like that. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic. Again, like I said, I'm dangerous. I know a lot about a little, or no, I know a little about a lot. That's it. So this picture on the left is a house that I sold last year, and now we're getting drone photography done, right? And it looks pretty cool. It's a nice big bungalow in the Alta Vista area. But the home inspector found some shingles. Now, I'm sorry, this is about as big as I could get this picture. And I identified some here. The shingles had been ripped off at the very top of this roof. Now, I couldn't see that. And this is very good that the buyers did get a home inspection, because you know why? Raccoons were digging up, trying to get into the attic of this house. And they were ripping off the shingles. We had no clue. The owner had no clue. And you can see they did that on the bedroom section here of this bungalow and at the top section, but only on the side where there happens to be a big tree. And there was a big tree in the front yard here. And so this is something that a home inspector found, which if you did not have a home inspection You wouldn't have known. However, had I been smart and taken advantage of the view from this drone picture, I would have noticed there was something going on in that roof. So, lesson learned. I take a look at my drone pictures too. And if you see drone photos, overhead photos, take a look at the roof, because obviously you can see things there. So I will not go up in an attic, but there are things happening in the attic. When was the last time you removed the panel for your attic door and looked inside your attic, right? Probably. And, oh, something else, you do not store things in the attic unless there's a floor there. If there's just the batten insulation, do not compress it down. Do not walk on it. Don't put heavy stuff on it. Don't store things up there, because it reduces the R value of that insulation. So what's behind the attic door that you haven't looked at, and an inspector will show you? Oh, look at this. A squirrel family. How lovely. And often in Ottawa, you will also find mice and raccoons. Ottawa is notorious for mice because we have lots of green space, and the mice get cold in the winter, just like we do. And squirrels get cold, and raccoons get cold, and they want to have their babies in the spring in a nice warm or warmer area. So they find a way to get in your attic. You know how they get in your attic? They will bend the soffits, the metal soffits hanging under your overhang. They will bend, and raccoons and squirrels will get in there, or they'll get in through the roof vents. I had a couple pictures of squirrels getting in a roof vent, or raccoons hanging outside. They were just too cute. I'd be too distracted. What else could I look at? I am not looking at the layout of the house. That's up to the buyers. I am looking at the corners. I am pulling out furniture or lifting up carpets. And this is what you see in a building inspection. Look at this black mold. Not good. Not good. Like Norm had talked earlier about the moisture. Well, if you don't take care of that moisture that's up along the windowsill, it's going to eventually get into the wood. If you have wood windowsills, and it's going to turn into mold because it's active, right? And behind here on the right-hand picture is mold behind the paint in the wall. Yikes. I'm looking for that. I am looking for that when I'm showing a house, especially if there's something hiding smells. For an example, if I go into a house and there's a candle burning, or if there's one of those scented things, I'm looking for what they're trying to hide. Often it might be pet smells, or it might be mold smell, or it might be musty smells, which are not good indications. And I will mention that to the buyers. So even like this is mold behind the wall. Oh, Central Park, not Central Park, New York, but Central Park, Ottawa, is along Merivale Road near Baseline, and it was built by Ashcroft. The original buildings that were there, the single-family homes and the townhouses, they had a mold problem in the basement because the way they were built around the tiling and the drainage was not done properly. So water was seeping in from the outside, and you could see mold, black spores, building up in the basement on the white baseboards. And I noticed that with homes that were 2-3 years old in that area. Now we may not be able to see the water in the basement when it's happening, although this time of year, right now, this is the perfect time for it. But I see evidence of it afterwards. For an example, in this left-hand picture, along the wall by the furnace, maybe not so much by the furnace, but where the drywall is on the left-hand side, after the water goes, that drywall will have absorbed some of that water, because drywall just loves water. It just loves to absorb it. So it's going to start changing the shape of the drywall at the bottom. Either it sort of peels out, or it gets a little waffled looking. And that's what I'm looking for in the basement. And if it's fairly recent, like we have now with this weather, everything's melting, you're going to get a bit of a musty smell. And I'm looking for that. And with the picture on the right, what I'm looking for there, I may not see the water, but I will see the staining on the floor. On the concrete floor, the water will help bring up, and there's salt in concrete. It helps bring up a bit of that salt, and you get a bit of efflorescence happening with the floor, and you see staining and say, okay, what's happened here? There's been a flood, or there's been water penetration of some sort. So that's just a couple examples. So what do I do when I'm buying a house? And I've bought several houses since my first house I bought when I was 22 years old. What do? I do not get building inspections as a condition of a home, because when I see something, I just buy it. I know it, I feel it, I like it, I want it. But what I do is have a building inspector or home inspector come through the house. I will pay them whatever it is, and to tell me what they see. I want their opinion and their facts, because sometimes they do have that equipment for moisture between the walls and things like that, and the heat coming, or the heat detectors. I will get an inspection that is not conditional upon the sale of the house, but for budgeting purposes. And that's what I feel a home inspection is worth. It's great for budgeting, because there's going to be something in every single house, whether it's brand new, and brand new houses are awful. They're notorious for having lots of stuff done, especially depending upon the builder here in the Ottawa area. Some builders are much more conscientious and have better site managers and pay their site managers a lot more money than other builders. And I can tell you those offline if you want. But I do get inspections for budgeting purposes. I can usually tell if a roof needs to be done, if windows are getting old, if there's been water penetration in the basement, or if there's some critters living up with me in the attic. You know, I hate to evict baby raccoons, but they got to go. Okay. So to find a good home inspector, well, if your networking group does not have one, you ask your realtor, because we usually have awesome inspectors. And try looking at their Google search and reviews. Not all home inspectors, they do not have to be registered with Ontario. You can just hang a shingle out and say, yeah, I'm a home inspector now. I worked in contracting for 25 years, so now I've decided to inspect homes. But those are not the people I would use. I would use the ones who actually follow a standard and a set of criteria set out by the Ontario Home Inspectors Association or their Canadian professional home inspectors. And again, we can talk about the market, but it's so volatile right now. The resale homes, because of these tariffs and because of the leader of the nation south of us. Oh, I really had to behave there. Oh man, that was tough. Our resale market is going to increase probably more than 5% now, but the brand new market is going to decrease. I mean, the price of houses is going to skyrocket because of the cost of materials. So that's just really quick about the 2025 market. And that's it. That's me. That's an AI picture. That's not me in real life. And one of my greatest joys is being trusted with your referrals, because I am delivering happiness backed by numbers. That's it. So that's home inspections in a nutshell.
Anna, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're at 9:03, so if you have questions, you know what? That's a good place to start off with a business activity meeting with Lana. So circle back, quote for the day. Anything can happen in life, especially nothing. And Michelle is the source. And the last time, I'm not going to even try because I haven't practiced it yet. And haven't had it translated so I can hear it at least once to get it right. So that's a wrap.